The Devil Wears Prada from 2006, directed by David Frankel, starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. Great cast. Quick logline: a smart but sensible new graduate lands a job as an assistant to Miranda Priestley, the demanding editor in chief of a high fashion magazine. We actually covered this movie in our workplace episode a long time ago.
Yeah,
So
first
if
episode
listeners,
actually.
first
Yeah.
episode, oh my gosh, what a
Yeah.
full circle moment.
I know, yeah.
So if people want to check like a more in-depth conversation, please do that. But you know, what can I say about this movie that hasn't been said? It's like one of those. This is one of those lightning in a bottle kind of moments, movies, but everything sort of works. Like the script is fun. We have the perfect cast. I think Meryl Streep is always amazing, but I think elevates and becomes capital MERYL because of this movie that
hmm
she ushers in like a whole other generation of fans and elevates this movie. Anne Hathaway, who people had seen as sort of like, a young teenage star to the Princess Diaries movies and such, like you mentioned, like she bursts on the scene, and really it's her movie, in many ways. Like it's
hmm
her arc.
hmm
She's perfect in the movie. But I think one could make the argument that even though those two are incredible in the movie, Emily Blunt kind of almost steals the movie because this is an actor that we, at least in the US, had not really seen before. So there's this wow factor to who is this person, number one. And she's just so perfectly between those two other women, right? The wide-eyed person, Anne Hathaway's character, through whose eyes we're watching this whole journey.
hmm
Meryl's character, who's already made it, and now there's Emily, who's sort of in the middle, who's insecure person. She probably was Anne Hathaway a long time ago, but somehow her arc in this movie has not really gone, or in this life of hers in the movie has not really gone the way she thought. She's sort of stuck in there. So I think it's a great script, obviously, but it's like brilliant casting. Because if you remove Emily Blunt, I don't think the movie works as well as it does. It'll still work, but I think you need that third leg of the stool, if you will. And she obviously has great comedic timing. She brings in the acid that you need, in addition to what Meryl is bringing to this movie. She looks incredible. Her chemistry with Anne Hathaway is amazing. That's really required in this movie. So I don't know. You just can't take your eyes off her in this movie, and instantly you're like, I want to see more of this person. Like I could watch a whole movie on this character's life, and that's what
Mm.
you want in a movie with a supporting part. So yeah, instantly I was like, okay, this is somebody I'm going to watch for the rest of her career. What about you? What was your impression of her, and also thoughts on the movie?
Well, yeah, for me, so sometimes on this show our choices will overlap. So this also is my first love of Emily Blunt as well. A lot of the same sentiments I'll reflect there, where I do think she, yeah, steals the movie in a way. Like I do remember seeing this movie for the first time back in when it was in theaters, and liking Anne Hathaway before I went in, and definitely the movie, as we talked about more on our work episode, was very triggering for me because I was in a very similar environment. And actually rewatching it for this podcast too, I was starting to have some PTSD and be like, I can still enjoy the movie, but it's like parts of it are a little too realistic and make you feel uncomfortable, and flashbacks to the trauma of what it's like to work as an assistant in an environment like that. But I do remember like leaving the movie and being like, who was this other actress who was playing the other assistant? Not only did she nail what that character is, because I ran into a lot of people like that were the very hard-nosed, jaded, the assistant that is very kind of bitter at the fact that they're not moving up fast enough, but still really wants to play the game and still desires that, that crown, which is like making it out of a desk, which is the goal of every assistant, or not every assistant, but most assistants in that environment. But I thought she just was really funny, playing a good foil to Anne Hathaway. Like she is a little bit of like
Good
I don't
word.
want to say like villain, but like an antagonist at certain times against Anne Hathaway's character, but never going like she's never mean or trying to like sabotage her or anything like that. So you do feel really bad for her in the movie too, when she can't go to the Paris fashion show because she gets sick, you do feel sick, and also she's not, performing at the level that Anne Hathaway is. You do feel bad for her and you want her to succeed. Emily Blunt brings that, you feel sympathy for her because of her
Mhm.
performance. And it is something like exactly where you nail it too. Like when there's a movie and there's a supporting character that you would like a spinoff from, or you could sit and watch this character do a whole movie, that's really a sign of a great actor or actress being able to pop in a supporting role. And she for sure does in this. I think this movie is great. And even now, going back and rewatching it, knowing where she goes in her career, she's still just really, yeah, it kind of steals the show in this, honestly, in a lot of scenes, and a lot of that's what I was left with in watching this movie for the first time. Who is this actress that played the assistant? I want to see her in more things.
Yeah, which is amazing. That's a great point, actually. This might be one of her signature traits, that she can be funny, she can be acidic, but there is always a humanity to
Yes.
her. And even if she's playing it for broad jokes or what have you, like Fall Guy is just too broad. Like people were laughing around me in the theater. I was like, I didn't laugh one
Yeah,
bit
me
in this
neither.
entire movie.
Yeah.
But maybe the joke is on us. I don't know. But what I was gonna say was that even in broad moments, she grounds it. Like you can see
Hmm.
this is a real person, or a real character. So that's amazing that she had that gift so early in her career. Most
Yeah.
people don't.
Yeah, and this role is a very hard role to land, in that it very easily can come across as unsympathetic, and you are
Right.
basically the villain because it's written where it could.
Yeah.
She is
Or very
an antagonist,
one-dimensional,
one
right? That,
dimensional,
oh, you're
exactly.
just like there to cause trouble. But what is your motivation? Why do you care? And if you do care, then why are you helping her?
Hmm.
But it all connects, and a
Hmm.
lot of that has to do with her performance.
Right. It wasn't really on the page. Like it wasn't in the script. You don't know her backstory fully. You don't
No.
really know, where there's a couple lines about, oh, we've trained so many other assistants. We're trying to get someone in here. And you sort of understand her motivation of, oh, I've always wanted to, I'm all so close to getting to go to the Paris week, fashion week, and what she really wants. She's already very fashionable. And, I think she just wants to be part of that world, but you get a sense that it isn't like not social climber, sort of like career. Yes, there you are a careerist. There's something else going on there that is motivating her, and it'd be interesting to see what that is. But I like how the movie just alludes to it, and her performance sort of fills in some of those gaps. And then as a viewer, you're just thinking a lot about, oh, what is this person? Where does she come from? What does her apartment look like? What is she kind of doing? And that's good world building's a bit of a harsh term for a movie like this, or not harsh term, but a extreme term, but it kind of is that. You do wonder and what this person's life is like, and it's a lot due to her performance in this movie, which is great. I mean, it still is a lot of the energy of this movie, despite Meryl being amazing and Anne Hathaway. This was the movie that made her into like a big star as an adult beyond just her Princess Diary films. I think Emily Blunt stands out too. It's really just the three of them. I mean, Stanley Tucci's also great too, but
He's really
he
good.
does this in his sleep. Not to knock it, but this is just he just
Yeah.
does this effortlessly in movies, the kind of performance in here. But I think Emily Blunt really does steal it. Honestly, she does, and I still felt that watching it again for the podcast on a rewatch.
Okay, so should we move on to a masterpiece section? Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can start us off. So my masterpiece. Hi there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I review a new release and then discuss 6 other movies made by that film's actor or director and how they shaped us. Subscribe right now or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.